what we've really come to understand is it's the hand action that actually drives.
If you have good hands, you know what to do with your hands. So much works back into the body, and the golfer they're empowered when they know how to use their hands properly.
Now, I think we've given a pretty good opportunity for people to go out and test that impact zone. Are there any other important truths that people need to apply?
So we've got the golf. Truth number 6 is the golf swing is a swing and a hit, a combination of both. So why the start of the backswing needs to be handle first and club head last.
Okay. Well, I love a lot of your teaching aids, Martin, but this is another one I love. This is designed by a former caddy on the PGA Tour. It's called the Orange Whip. And it really highlights what a swing and a hit really is. And to me, golf is a combination. It's not either a swing or a hit. You get the best result long term and for a lifetime if you combine a swinging motion, especially in the backswing. So if I start this and I try to pull it away, there's no swing. But if I push on the handle, the club effortlessly, or the orange ball effortlessly slings back. And that back sling or swinging motion is really at the key of getting your golf swing on path and in the right sequence. Golf is yes, sir.
So Peter, today is interesting. So I was coaching a fellow this morning, first lesson of the day, 8 a.m. Very fit 62-year-old doctor. He hit a few drives. He came out. I said, what would you like to work on? He said, distance. I said, okay, great. So that's a loaded question. I didn't know if he might have been fast and he was at the top of his speed, but he wasn't even close to the top of his speed. So here's a guy, he stood roughly 6 foot tall. He had a nice firm handshake. He was in good shape. Driver swing speed, okay? Driver swing speed, 68 miles an hour. And I'm like, I thought he was kidding me for a second. And here's the beauty of it. You know, Jim Hackenberg is a dear buddy of mine. That's who invented the Orange Whip. I had one of the first 5 Orange Whips ever. It's one of my favorites. We use it at the studio all the time. So the lesson I gave him to increase his club head speed 15 miles an hour in 1 hour, 15 miles an hour, and it's going to go up from there, was simply handle first, club head last. Handle first, club head last, rather than his motion, which was a standing in cement, lifting his arms up without any sort of back, and I call it a sling, S-L-I-N-G. I want, a handle first, club head last situation creates that almost this reverse lagging condition that accelerates a golf club up to the top, that gets the body in this nice stretch cycle that allows it to respond to develop speed. So, I should have got him an Orange Whip to feel that. I didn't. But basically, the lesson's exactly what you're saying.
I reckon when you give him the Orange Whip next lesson, he's going to add another 15 miles per hour.
Well, I saw online, he booked another lesson, and guess what? It'll be a part of his teaching repertoire, and I'll make him buy one because I sell them in my studio.
Look, I'm going to have to do that too, but this is the only one I've got. But this one was given to me by Jim Hackenberg. So
there you go.
So it was lovely to meet him, and I got his story on. It's in our Master Coaching Academy, his story. But bottom line is, it is a swing and a hit. It's not a swing or a hit. I know there's a lot of stuff out there about are you a swinger or a hitter. Well, if you're going to last in this game, you want to get the club swinging and use the swinging power rather than have to rely on muscles and extra athletic ability. So the swing cannot start by pulling the club away or steering it away, whether it's in the backswing or the downswing. You can't start the swing by trying to move it away with your shoulders, your arms. It really needs, ideally, to be a slinging motion. So when I got a slinging motion, I haven't got a coin on me at the moment, but if I was to put a coin back here about 8 to 12 inches back of the ball, when I have a slinging motion, I effortlessly hit that coin, so I have a nice wide arc. If you have an attempt where you're actually trying to move it away with your muscles, and whether you're moving away with your shoulder or your arm, you don't ever want to transfer weight to do it. You want to turn in a barrel. But if I push handle first, that club just stays effortlessly low. And what you said, Martin, it becomes it's a sling. And that is really an effortless way to get that wind up. So with a little bit more push, you've got yourself a fuller backswing. And that's the swinging part. Now, I'm going to not hit a normal golf ball. I'm going to hit a rubberized one here that won't go so far. But if I go into a swinging motion going back, you can't just try to make a swing down. You've got to actually decide, make a decision. You're going to make that club head hit the ball. And it's that downward direction of intention and force that's going to compress the ball. So in the definition of the word hit in the dictionary, one of the definitions is to strike by throwing. So we use that in our program. If you're going to hit the ball, you have to strike the ball by throwing the club head at the ball. So I'm just going to do that here.
Lovely swing. Beautiful swing.
I hit it straight over didn't get much height because I couldn't compress that rubberized ball. But
don't worry, Peter, your neighbor collects those for you and we'll bring those back.
Yeah, well, that one hit the trees, thank goodness.
Just to add that too, it's so amazing how what develops as soon as somebody understands that the backswing is this event where it's handle first, club head last. So many good things happen. The face doesn't roll prematurely open. The arc stays nice and wide because a lot of people that roll the club, everybody wants to hit a draw, so they whip it inside. But this sensation of handle first, club head last, when you watch me, you're seeing an exaggerated look because I'm doing it really slowly. And this motion of handle first, club head last gets everything organized and gets you in a place where the club helps you develop your swing speed. I think George Knudsen he was my mentor, a famous Canadian fella and beautiful guy. And he would say things that sort of made sense to me, but I think Peter has done a very nice job of making it bite-sized and task-oriented, such that if you follow along step by step, most everybody can do this. And the only folks that have a hard time doing it are what I call the earth flat people. If you really think the earth is flat, that's fine. And it's been flat for a lot longer than we've known it to be round. But once you start to realize that this golf swing is a motion inspired by, having organized hands and having the handle move first so the club head can sling to the top, now your body's in a position to really hit the golf ball.
Yeah, definitely. You got permission to enjoy the hit, we say. So you're not trying. Yes. You don't need to swing all the way. You got the opportunity to just watch that ball and hit that ball. So I've got a chair in the road here, so this soft ball won't go so far from this angle. But you'll see the back slinging motion and then the down throwing motion, how it gives you that extension.
Beautiful.
Luckily, it missed me.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I think going on to truth number 7, and this is critical, right? Solid contact being senior to club head speed. And, let me start off on this one, Peter. I mean,
it's yours.
People come to me all the time and everybody wants to hit it farther. There's no question about it. And today I had 2 lovely couples. They were senior. And what I did was I took some foot powder, some white spray, and sprayed their driver. And I just said to them, hey, here's your basic speed. One of the ladies was fairly fast. The other lady was a little slower. Two of the gentlemen were reasonable in the upper 80s, and they were close to 80. Shockingly, the 62-year-old who was in good shape early before that lesson was the slowest. But once we got them to understand centeredness of strike, the golf ball obviously behaved better. Now, I like to build arguments for people. I don't argue, I just build an argument in that I'll show them that without an efficient strike at their speed, how much distance they lose. So for example, if somebody swings a driver, say 75 miles an hour, and it's inefficient, I'll take their driver, I'll swing at 75 miles an hour, and I'll hit it on the, somewhere in the middle, typically, with effective impact alignments and say, okay, here's your 75 miles an hour, here's my 75 miles an hour. Why are there 40 yards difference? And this just goes to show the importance of just centeredness of strike rather than, just trying to swing for speed, because speed is great, but it means nothing unless unless you hit it in the middle of the face and the face is organized, pointing where you want the golf ball to go with a path that makes sense.
Correct.